Alright, it's that time of year for the gaming market again. Honestly, I think this must be my upteenth time coming at this point, but it's always great fun. If you're not familiar, the retro gaming market is situated in Russell Square in Camden. It's just a short distance from the tube station. The actual event itself is held in the nearby lobby of the Royal National Hotel. It's always super busy, too busy in fact. Last time it got quite cramped and sweaty. So what they've done now, they've changed it so there's 4 opening times. The earliest ticket is from 10:30 AM. That's what we decided to go for. So yeah, we got in early, got all of the cut of all of the good stuff. Let's go take a look inside. I'll give you a little bit of a tour. I know what I said about the 10:30 opening time, but you're definitely going to want to get here earlier because the queue builds up really fast. Whilst you're standing in the queue, the event organiser will come over. You just show them your virtual ticket and they'll give you one of these blue wristbands. Obviously, the aim of the 4 different opening times is that they hope it won't be so ram-packed right at the start. The day will be a bit more split up and everybody will come at different times. This does seem to have worked a little bit. Within the first 10 minutes, it was actually, it was quite spacious. There was loads of room to move about. After a while, though, yeah, it did become really rather busy again. Not quite as bad as last time, but yeah, I still think there's work that needs to be done. Anyway, enough about that, let's go ahead and have a look at some video games. This time around, there was a great selection of games. Sometimes you'll come and you'll think to yourself, man, I don't want any of this stuff. But yeah, no, great selection this time around. And yeah, there was, even if I couldn't afford it, there's quite a lot of stuff that was quite interesting to look at as well. You'll always find that in each of the 4 corners of the room there are the biggest and the best stalls. They always stock the best stuff, and it's usually the rarer stuff as well that's more interesting to look at. So you'll probably want to make your way over to those first. They do tend to get quite busy. Just as an example, there's this stall here, which is to the right as you go in, and this has loads of import games here as well, if you're into that sort of thing. Quite a few PAL games as well, but yeah, there's so much stuff to look at. I mean, just look at the selection here. You could be here for hours. The gaming market does have a bit of a reputation for being a bit expensive. Honestly, I don't mind paying a little bit extra, especially when you actually get to see the stuff in person before buying it. You can never really rely on eBay pictures. But honestly, a lot of the cheaper stuff here, and some of the consoles as well, really reasonably priced. If you're looking to start a collection for a particular console and you just want the bare essentials, this is a great place to come. It's also worth noting there's a lot of stuff here that isn't just, games and consoles. There's merchandise, plushies, old game guides, all sorts of stuff. Like I've been saying, this is a great place to come even if you just want to have a look at it. You don't even need to walk away with anything. Time passes really quickly when you're at the gaming market, and after about an hour and a half, which is more than enough time, I felt like I'd got everything I wanted. So yeah, that was when the next wave of people started to come in and it started to get really busy. I don't know how the day progressed really, or how busy it got towards the end, but yeah, that was when we decided we needed to check out, because it'll be quite difficult to keep filming from there. Anyway, it's time to head home. I'll show you all my purchases and we'll give a little demo as well. First of all, got these 2 N64 games from the same vendor. £25, very reasonable price, it's about what you'd expect to pay really. Pokemon Stadium is a bit of an accompaniment to the original Gen 1 Pokemon games on Game Boy. Effectively how it works is that you get the transfer pack, which I don't have currently. I'll pick that one up later. You plug it into the back of your controller and you put the cartridge in, and you can transfer your Pokemon on from the Game Boy games, and you can simulate battles with them. It's a pretty cool, if slightly gimmicky idea. One of the really cool things you can do though is you can't just transfer the Pokemon from the cartridge, you can also play the Game Boy Gen 1 Pokemon games on your N64. The other N64 game I got was Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. I don't claim to be a huge fan of Star Wars, I definitely am not, but yeah, just wanted to check it out really. It's only cheap, just a pod racing simulator, wanted to fill out my collection. Looks pretty cool as well. From the brief amount of time I spent testing it out, this looks quite similar to F-Zero, maybe a slightly slower version of it. I can definitely say I do like F-Zero, so I think I'll probably have a good time with this one as well. Next, I got Grandia 2 on Dreamcast. Quite expensive game, but it's in immaculate condition. This game initially seems to be your standard JRPG fare. It seems to get really good ratings on all of the sites I'm part of. What I will say though is that unfortunately it did come around the same time as Skies of Arcadia, and that game sort of stole its thunder, so it's perhaps a little bit less popular than it should be. But yeah, it seems to have a very unique battle system. Really excited to check this one out. I got all these 4 from the same seller. I'm not quite sure how much they were individually. I must say I do think these were slightly more expensive than I'd expect to pay, but they were all complete in box and great condition, so I'm not particularly fussed. Need for Speed Most Wanted seems to be the most highly rated game in the series. I don't have much experience with it, but I've always preferred arcadey races like Ridge Racer over more realistic ones like Gran Turismo, so I'm pretty sure we're going to like this one. Metal Gear Solid 2, what do I really even need to say? This is considered to be one of the best games of all time. I'm very ashamed to say that I haven't got around to playing it yet, but yeah, rest assured I'll get into it soon. And yeah, the visuals look amazing for a game from 2001, really impressed by it. Harvest Moon A Wonderful Life Special Edition. Admittedly, this one was a bit of a mistake purchase on my behalf. I didn't do the research I needed. Apparently this is a completely horrible port of the GameCube version. I must admit I'm probably just going to sell this and get the GameCube version instead, because it's not that much more expensive and I'd like the best experience possible really. This probably is quite a playable version, but yeah, I'd much rather get the GameCube version. Last but not least, we have Breath of Fire 4, which is Capcom's flagship RPG series that they seem to have sorely neglected in recent years. This one is considered to be one of the best in that series as well. I don't know much about this one, I'll be going in blind, but what I will say is that the blend of 2D and 3D visuals in the intro look really cool. Anyway, that's about it from me. Thanks very much for watching until the end, and I really hope you enjoyed it. I'm probably going to do more of this sort of game collecting videos in the future, so if you're into that and you'd like to see some more, I'd really appreciate a sub. I won't keep you any longer, I'll hopefully see you in the next one.